you're writing a book, what's your research process? What type of sources do you look at for when you're trying to put together your enemies and your characters and stuff like that?
Okay, my research process, it was really heavy when I started out, and I went to the metaphysical section of the local Borders and just picked up half a dozen books about the practice of magic, and that was how I put together, like the basic magic outline for how it was going to work in the Dresden Files. I also went and did a whole lot of research on criminal psychology, police behavior, investigation, forensic evidence, that sort of thing, partly because I just thought it was cool, and partly because I wanted to have that sort of background before I went into it. Writer's Digest put out a series of books called the How Done It books, in which, if you know what they are, they're invaluable. They include titles like Deadly Doses, A Writer's Guide to Poisons. I love that. When I hit a particular novel, I'll do some research over whatever our current beastie is. I did all the magic research for the first book. The second book was werewolves. I went out and dug up all this werewolf information, which was much more diverse and odd than I thought it would be. Because it turns out that the Hollywood version of werewolves is sort of the, hey, it's a wolf guy, and let's steal some stuff from vampires because that's cool. And the same deal with vampires, whatever. I would go out and research actual folklore and try and find what I come up with there. By the way, if you're going to do the same thing, I recommend that you go to the children's section of your library and do your folklore research starting there. Because in the children's section, they just want to tell you the story. If you go to the adult section, mythology or folklore or whatever, you're not going to be able to go like 3 pages without running into Freud or Jung, and it just turns dry and sort of shrivels up in your imagination. It's awful what they can do to really good folklore. But the kids' folklore, I think, is best at the library. And then the other great source for folklore is to actually go to a given location and look up the local authors who actually write that area's ghost stories, that area's creepy legends, and so on. That's really where you find your very best material. But we're kind of going far afield now. But that was pretty much the research process.
Hi. I wondered how Nicodemus and Tessa ended up getting married, because it seemed like he was the first Denarian, sort of a big shot, and she was a temple slave in the Temple of Isis. And I also wondered if he had any alternate forms other than just the shadow.
Nicodemus and Tessa's relationship, oh my gosh. That wouldn't be the kind of story I think I would enjoy writing. And it would be the kind of story I wouldn't want anybody under like 16 reading. But I mean, they just had a hideous background, and it there was bloodshed and chaos and murder and cities abandoned during the course of their romance. Kind of a fall of the Roman Empire sort of thing. As far as Nicodemus having an alternate form, like the other Denarians do, no, he just has his shadow go do things for him. If you go relying on an alternate form to get things done, well, that puts you in personal danger because you're still inside there. Nicodemus is much more practical than that. I'd rather stand over here and watch something else kill. You actually get the work done. Unless it's something cool like a Knight of the Cross, in which case he's still got something to prove. The poor kid, he was the guy whose team never really came in first place when he was in Little League. So now he's got a big suit about it.